It's time to turn our attention to next conversation on the program. The Central Bank of Nigeria has imposed a fresh cash withdrawal limit on individual owned organization, which becomes effective January 9, 2023. Of course, this is no longer news, but according to a memo issued by the Cbn to banks, recently, individuals will only be able to withdraw 100,000 naira per week from over-the-counter point-of-sale machines or automated teller machines, while organizations can access 500,000 per week. Withdrawals above the stipulated limit shall attract processing fees of 5% and 10% respectively. Now, the memo signed by the CBN's Director of Banking Supervision, Haruna Mustafa, directed banks to load only 200 naira and lower denominations into their ATMs. But this means Nigerians will only be able to withdraw 20,000 naira per day from ATMs when the directive becomes effective. Now, to help us look at these policy and how it impacts on the informal sector of the macro economic activities across the nation is Steve Okafor, MD, CEO, Co-founder, Securities and Investment. He joins us virtually now. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you.
Frank, thank you. It's nice being with you guys again.
Yes, good to have you again. So talk to us about your position. I know quite a lot of conversations, argument, debate has gone out, out there concerning this new CBN withdrawal limit weekly. So what's your position? Let's take it up from there.
Yeah, Frank, I'm not totally against CBN's position. I'm not totally against the directive. Only thing I feel is that the CBN will have a lot of work to do. You understand? Because you see, we want to be like advanced economies. You understand? And if we want to be like them, we should also tend towards doing things the way they do things. Okay? Frank, most middle income earners in Nigeria don't even withdraw more than 100K in a week. Okay, so for me, if CBN is, because I look at the advantages and disadvantages, I look at what CBN is trying to do, encourage cashless economy, you understand, it's just that the only challenge is that the banking IT infrastructures are not particularly prepared for it. That's the truth, okay? But then they can do something. Before now, we never knew that clients can open account online way back then. But then banks immediately became a competition. And what did they do? They started innovations and drive towards that area. So CBN may have come in faster than is needed, but I think this is not bad at all. It's something we need to run with. Let's try and reduce. It will reduce a lot of things: corruption, illegal transactions, and all that. So I'm not totally against it. It's just that CBN needs to do a lot to make sure that the supervisory angle is they are on top of their job. That's it, Frank.
Now, I want us to look at the implications, because I know quite a lot of people will say, look, we're not going to have much cash out there any longer, yes, unlike before. Yes. So it means, yes, that the amount of cash at hand will be limited henceforth, and so, yes, with businesses as well. So what's the implication of this, or what are likely to be the implications of this policy?
No, look at it. See, for me, I'm looking at the, because when this discussion came up somewhere, among some group of friends, I said, yes, cash. We have a challenge. Most market women, laborers on the building sites, some of them don't trust the system to the extent that you want to transfer their payments to them via any of the internet channels, banking internet channels. They don't trust it. That's one of the implications. But then the banks are also going to do a few things on their own. how will they resolve these matters when there is any slight error in their network? They need to improve on it. It's agreed that, yes, initially it will reduce transactions, initially. But then people will embrace it, Frank. They will embrace it. And when you look at the advantages of this policy, even vis-a-vis, regulating and reducing certain fraudulent transactions, people will embrace it, Frank.
There are those who are speculating now that it probably will impact on the value of the naira because, of course, if you don't have much cash out there, you have few ones, so you value the few naira in your hands. Is that true? Is this a theory true?
Frank, let's see. We are trying to confuse a few things here.
Yes.
We are trying to confuse the fact that, look, I am not able to access my cash. I'm not able to withdraw cash to go and make payments. And the fact that, look, I can still do payments via online channels. They are two different things. People are looking at it's not a total ban on transactions. It's not a total ban on you must not do a transaction worth more than 100,000 as an individual in a week. It's not a total ban. What they are saying is you can do as much transactions as you want to do in a week, but it must be through internet banking. What we are only saying here is don't withdraw cash above a certain amount. Most medium income earners, Frank, don't spend more than 100,000 naira cash in a week. Let's call a spade a spade.
That's right. Again, I mean, let's dwell on that conversation a little bit. Now, let's just imagine, for instance, I mean, someone has 100,000, but because he cannot withdraw.
Frank, come again. Frank, come again. I lost you there.
Yeah, I said let's dwell on that conversation a little bit, that concept a little bit. I mean, the concern now is that if I have 1,000 naira, I'm not able to withdraw more than 100,000 naira weekly, right? So, and I need up to 200,000, 300,000 naira cash in my hands. What people are saying is that, or what some analysts like you, like yourself, what they are saying is that it is going to create a kind of
Frank, I didn't get you that. I didn't get you. I lost you.
Okay.
Hello, Frank.
Let me try to make it simple. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you very clear, loud and clear.
For someone who needs more than 300,000 naira cash at hand, in his hand weekly, and he's not able to, access more than 100,000 naira cash in a week. So what people are saying, or what analysts like you are saying, is that it's going to create a kind of market where people are going to start selling naira. And so that will create a kind of market vis-a-vis the dollar market. I mean, is this speculation? If this speculation is true, and how is that likely to affect ordinary Nigerian? And of course, it will create a kind of a cash crunch, like people have already predicted.
Frank, that's where the regulators come in. You understand?
Yes.
That's where the regulators come in. Those that are selling the cash, where are they getting it from? If you see, just like if the CBN puts if the CBN comes out with a policy and allows loophole, that's what you're looking at. But what we're looking at is that people should be educated. Market women should be educated. Banks should do awareness campaign. Go to the bank, go to the markets, educate them on how to open an account. Do what you call more of education to let them teach them a few things on how to receive funds, how to confirm. You may say it's difficult, but Frank, you may say it's difficult, but it's not. If banks decide to go all out to do it, they will achieve it. We should not be looking at how do they sabotage this policy to make, though CBN has come out to say that they can still tweak this policy. But in the time being, I think it's going to be a larger advantage to the economy, seriously. It will even bring more education to the people you think that are not educated. Nigerians are resilient. They can adapt to any situation if made to adapt. The only problem you are pointing out now is if it is sabotaged. If it is sabotaged, be rest assured that the regulators are giving room for that sabotage.
Let's look at what is likely.
Hello, Frank.
Yes, I can hear you. So I'm asking you, let's look at what is likely. I need you to speak to what is likely to change the expectation. I mean, sometimes when a policy like this is introduced, it takes a whole lot of time for Nigerians, so for people to adjust to it. How long do you think it will take for people to start adjusting to this particular policy? And on the second part is that what is likely to change? Election year is around the corner. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? I'm not sure if, Steve Okafor can hear.
Let me switch over to another, please, first.
Can you hear me now?
Hello, Frank. Let me switch over to another network. Maybe it will be better. Just
okay, I think I can hear you now. Maybe if you carry on, since you're about wrapping up.
Okay. Now, Frank.
Yes.
Hello, Frank.
Yes. So can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. I was asking you what you think is likely to change going forward, because when a policy like this is introduced, it takes a whole lot of time. You need time. You require time to adjust to, to a new lifestyle where you do not have to carry much cash around anymore. Yes, of course, it's in favor of, Nigeria cashless policy. But again, this, of course, appear new or novel, and it might take a time for people to adjust to it. So I was asking you to talk to us about what is likely to change now that, of course, election year is around the corner.
Now, Frank, let me tell you, first of all, the way you coined it the other way, let me answer it that way. How long will it take for the masses to embrace this system? How long will it take for it to start moving smoothly? Let me put it that way. I hope the question is okay by you.
That's right. That's the question.
Fantastic. See, look, the length of time it's going to take is dependent on, let me tell you, one, is dependent on the regulators and the banks. Now, let me give you an instance, Frank. Let me use one of the banks in Port Harcourt. Let me say Zenith Bank. Zenith Bank has an average of, let me say, we have more than 10 branches of Zenith Bank in Port Harcourt. They can map out catchment areas. Go to markets that are closest to you. Educate the market women on how to use, and within 1 month, they can achieve a success. Other banks will equally adopt that same approach. Then the regulators, what's their role? The regulators will make sure that the supervision, let's not give room for people to circumvent this by getting this cash from somewhere. But one of my friends asked me, if Buhari gives MFLA an instruction, deliver so amount of cash via bullion van to one of the politicians, whether MFLA will refuse it. And I said, MFLA will not refuse that. But that is what we're talking of. If you give room for some people to have access to cash and then use it to do other businesses, you are defeating the aim of this. Let all of us suffice together, and with the speed of light, we'll get out of it.
As we wrap up now, I mean, election is around the corner, and again, with this policy in effect from January, how is it likely to change or the mood of election with regards to vote buying and all that?
Frank, am I not happy? Are you not happy for it? Am I not happy? Except for those that want to sell their votes. I'm not prepared to sell my votes, Frank. So you will see, for example, is it not going to be a situation where we may have a genuine election? Those that are prepared to use money to buy votes, they will not have it. But like I said, the regulators have to be on top of the job. You understand? As long as the regulators are on top of it, as long as the regulators monitor what is happening, Frank, we'll have a good election. People will go out there and vote who they think will do what. Turn Nigeria for the better, for all of us. Turn Nigeria to a country where we will be proud of and live for our children in the future.
Well, I think we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Steve Okafor is MD, CEO, Kofana Securities and Investment, joining us from Port Harcourt. We appreciate your time on Business Breakfast.
Frank, it's always nice. Pleasure from this side, Frank.
It's all right. You have a great day. You've been watching Business Breakfast coming to you live from our studios here. Still to come after the break. And after the break, we'll turn attention to the oil and gas market, of course, looking at the international market and how the crude oil is trading, and of course, the stock market across the globe. Well, we'll take a moment to be back in a moment. Please stay with us.